Let's go to page 801. This is lesson 16-9. The objective of this lesson is to solve system of equations using determinants. Okay, so in previous lesson, you learned about how to solve system of equation using the inverse. But right now, we're going to use a different technique. So the easiest way to learn the lesson is just go through the example. So let's go to example 1. Okay, so you have 2x minus y equal to 6. You got 3x plus 5y equal to 22. And you learn from before that when you write this in the matrix form, you're going to get 2, negative 1, 3, 5. And you're going to be times it by x, y. And this will equal to the answer matrix 6, 22. Right? And again, from before you just multiply by the inverse. Okay? But now we're going to use a different technique. Okay? This technique is called a Cramer's rule. Okay? So what you need to do first, you have to find the determinants. So in this case, d equal to 2, negative 1, 3, 5. Now this is only the few times I'm going to go sideways. Okay? And so this would be equal to 10 minus, and this will equal to negative 3. And so this will equal to 13. Let me double check. Yeah, 13. Okay, double check your math. Okay, so far so good. The next thing you need to do is you need to do something called d of x. Now the d of x, what you do is you're going to replace, this is going to be the first column, see the x? This is your x column. So when you're looking for d of x, you have to replace this by that. Okay, so you're going to become, so this becomes 6, 22, negative 1, 5. Okay, so d of x, you have to replace the x column by the answer matrix. Okay, so can you see this over here? So for d of x, so the original d, you just use these. Okay, for d of x, you have to replace the x column by the answer matrix. Okay, and so this will equal to, so this will be equal to 30 minus negative 22, and this will equal to 52. Okay. Once you got d of x, right? You got d and d of x, then you can find your x. So in this case, your x will equal to d of x divided by d. Okay? And if you don't remember which is which, what you do is think about it, right? Over here, see the d and d will cancel out. So you got x equal to, so d and d cancel out, so you got x equal to x. That's how to remember. If you have things flipped, then it's not going to work. Okay? And so this will equal to, so d of x equal to 52, and d equal to 13, so x will equal to 4. Okay? And then you're going to do the dy, so d of y equal to, now for d of y, you need to replace the y column with this. Okay? So now you're going to get 6 and 22 over here now. Because here, again, looking for d of y, so you have to replace the y column with this. And you have to go back to your original, right? See your original. So again, it's 2, 3. So you have to replace the y column with this. Okay? Okay. So now, again, you do your diagonals. So this is equal to 44 minus, and this would be 18. And this will equal to 26. Okay? And so now to do y will equal to dy over d. Again, the d will cancel out, so you can end up with a y, right? And so this will equal to dy is 26, and the d is 13. So y will equal to 2. Okay? So this is called the Cramer's rule. Okay? Then you're going to do the same thing with when you get to 3 by 3s. Okay, so let's go and do the example 2. Okay, so you got x minus 3y minus 2z equal to 9. Now when you write your z, make sure you are little slash so you can see the difference between 2 and a z. Okay? So you got 3x plus 2y plus 6z equal to 20. You got 4x minus y plus 3z equal to 25. Okay, so I'm going to write my matrix, and I'm going to move way over to this side so I got room over here. And I'm going to write it a bit smaller because I need a lot of space. So I have 1, 3, 4, and the next one would be -3, and the 2, then -1, and then get -2, 6, 3, and you're going to times by x, y, z, and this will equal to the answer matrix of 9, 20, 25. Okay, let's double check, make sure you copy it correctly. Okay. Okay, so first let's look for D. Okay, so D will equal to just original, so it'll be 1, 3, 4, -3, 2, -1, -2, 6, 3. Okay, and then I'm going to copy 2 more columns so I can do the diagonals. Okay. Okay, so this diagonal. Okay, instead of doing the circle, I'm just going to draw the line. Okay, let's do circle then. Okay, you have to be careful when you're doing the lines. You might mess up the negatives. Okay, so multiply this will equal to 6 plus, I'm going to put a positive on the top. Okay, and this diagonal right over here, this would be negative 72. Okay, plus 6. Then I'm going to do all the minus, go in this direction now. Minus -27 minus -6 minus -16, and this is going to be equal to, and again you can get your calculator. Okay, so you can do an expansion by minor also, but you can just do diagonals. Okay, so you're going to get 6 minus 72 plus 6, and again this is going to become plus 27 plus 6 plus 16 equal -11. Okay, so that's the D. Now I'm going to do the D of x. Now D of x, I need to replace the x column by this number over here, right? So I need to get 9, 20, 25. Okay, and I get -3, 2, -1, -2, 6, 3. Okay, so you can do diagonals. So you have to be careful not to get too sloppy, so easy to make a careless mistakes. So equal to 54 plus, oh, forgot to, time out, forgot to do the, copy the 2 columns. Okay, so I need to get 9, 20, 25, -3, 2, -1. There we go. Okay, let's do the diagonal. Okay, so this will equal to 54 plus the next diagonal. Okay, you can use your calculator. Okay, so it'd be -450 plus the next diagonal. Okay, 40 minus -180 minus -54 minus 100. So keep track of your subtraction and your signs. So this will equal to, so get your calculator, so 54. Now this will become minus 450 plus 40. This become plus, so plus 180. This become plus 54. This become plus 100 equal negative 22. Okay? Okay, now let's go and do dy. Okay, so again, you go back to your original, so you got 1, 3, 4. Now for dy, you have to replace the y column with the 9, 20, 25. Okay? So again, d of x, you replace the x column with that. dy, you replace the y column with that. And again, make sure you get back to your original z column. Okay? Now copy the first two columns. Okay, then you do the diagonal. Okay, so this diagonal equal to 60 plus this diagonal. Okay. Okay, 216 plus. Notice I put all the plus up here, all the minus down here, right? Okay. And this would be equal to negative 150. Okay. And minus, so I'm going to do this diagonal, minus 81, minus, next diagonal, 150, minus, next diagonal, minus 160. Okay, get a calculator. So 60 plus 216. This will become minus, so minus 150, minus 81, minus 150, and this become plus 160. Okay, so equal to 55. Okay, now we're going to do the dz. So d of z, you're going to get 1, 3, 4. And again, go back to your original, so it'd be minus 3, 2, negative 1. Now, when you're doing the d of z, you have to replace the z column with the answer matrix, right? So it'd be 9, 20, 25. Okay, I'm going to color code. Okay, I'm going to color code for you guys, so you can see where the things came from. Okay, so you can dx, you replace the x column with this. So put this over here in the x column. For d of y, you put this in the y column. For d of z, you put this in the z column. Okay, so copy the two columns. Okay, and let's do the diagonals. Okay, so this will equal to 50 plus negative 240 plus negative 27 minus, so this column right over here, okay, and it's a negative 225 minus the next column, negative 20, okay, minus the next column, 72. Okay, so this will equal to, get the calculator, so it'd be 50. Now this become minus, right? So minus 240, and this it's also minus 27. This become plus 225. This become plus 20. This become minus 72 equal negative 44. Okay, so once you find dx, dy, dz, now you can find your x, y, z, right? So x equal to dx over x. Okay. So x equal to negative 22 over d, dx over d, over negative 11. So x equal to 2. Okay. Then y equal to dy over d. So y equal to dy is 55 divided by d, negative 11. So y equal to negative 5. Okay. And then z equal to dz over d. So z equal to dz is negative 44. D from here is negative 11. So z equal to 4. Okay, so this is called the Cramer's rule. So basically you're solving by using the determinants. Okay, now as you're using the Cramer's rule, okay, sometimes there are different situations. So like when d is not equal to 0, then you're going to get one answer. Okay. Now when you have d equal to 0 and dy not equal to 0, then you're going to get inconsistent equation. The graphs are parallel, so it means no solution. Okay. So dy cannot equal to 0. Okay. Or any of the substitute cannot equal to 0. We're also going to get no solution. Okay. Now, when everything is all 0, then it's dependent equation and means you get infinite number of solutions. Okay. Okay. So let's go to example 3. (3a). So you got 2x plus y equal to negative 6. You got x minus 3y equal to 9. Okay. So over here the d equal to 2, 1, 1, negative 3. Right. So 2, 1, 1, negative 3. And it's going to be equal to negative 6 minus 1. And so it's equal to negative 7. Okay, so far so good. Okay, and then, so as long as d is not equal to 0, then you have one solution. Okay, so right away when d is not equal to 0, it means you're fine. Okay, so you're going to have one solution. Now, if d equal to 0, then you have to do further check. Okay, so if you go to 3b, like 3b, okay, so you got x minus 2y equal to 3. You got negative 2x plus 4y equal to 1. So d equal to 1, negative 2, negative 2, 4, right? So when you do this, if you do the diagonals, you're going to get equal to 4 minus 4, so equal to 0. So when you d equal to 0, you have to do further check. Okay? So you're going to do dy. So you're going to replace this with, so you're going to do 1, negative 2. You're going to replace the y column with the answer solution would be 3, 1. Okay? And so again, you do the diagonal. So this will equal to 1 minus negative 6. And so this is equal to 7. Okay? So this is the second case. So this is inconsistent. So there will be no solution. Okay, so again, if this is 0, and so they are not the same, so there will be no solution. If you get 0, 0, if you got 0 and 0, then they are the same, then there would be infinite number of solutions, that means dependent. Okay? So what you do is, if this is equal to 0, you check, see if they are the same. If they're not the same, means inconsistent, means no solution. If they're the same, if you got 0 and 0, and that means it's dependent, and means you have infinite number of solutions.